All right, so you bought a house, you popped the champagne, you toasted your significant other, or your cat if you're like me and don't have a significant other, and you're in the home and everything is great, and now you've been living there, and now the honeymoon period is wearing off, and now you're just living in a house, and now you realize you got to maintain it. So what do we do? How do we go about creating a home maintenance schedule? We're going to walk you through a few things to keep in mind as you're going through maintaining the home, because you bought the home and that's exciting and that's great for you and your spouse or you and your cat. But how do we maintain this very expensive asset we bought and make sure it remains a blessing and not a total burden? Here's some steps on how to do that. So step one is going to be to do a walkthrough of the home. And you can do this on your own with an experienced home maintenance person, or what you might want to consider doing is getting a home inspection, having someone actually, a professional, come through and touch every piece of the home. You might have had one when you bought the home, but it might have been a while now, and you want to make sure that the major components and areas of the home, what kind of condition they're in, etc. So do a walkthrough, get a professional walkthrough done, or something in the middle, but you're basically want to gather all the information about the home and see what kind of condition the components are in, and then we want to create a list of things that we need to maintain both now and in the future and on a regular basis. So when we do this walkthrough and have this list, how do we prioritize them? Step two is going to be to take the list that you created in your walkthrough and prioritize them on the list of most important to least important. For example, a leaky roof or a toilet that doesn't flush is probably going to be a little more urgent than some scuff marks on the baseboard, right? So how do we go about prioritizing this long list of items that a home needs for maintenance? Safety is first. If you have anything that is unsafe, I think that's the first thing to address, because there is no point in owning and living in a home if it's gonna kill you or harm you, right? I mean, we wanna be able to live in this home, not be able to be harmed by this home. If you have any, potential electrical hazards, plumbing issues, foundation issues, things of that nature, we wanna make sure that, gas leaks, anything like that. So obvious safety concerns are first. The next thing is going to be urgency type issues, where it might not be a safety problem, but it's urgent to get taken care of so it doesn't become a bigger issue. This would be something like a leaky roof, or maybe you have a massive termite issue that's eating away at the house. So we want to make sure items that are continuing to cause deterioration are addressed so that those things can be nipped in the bud and not become bigger problems down the road. The next thing is cost effective, right? How many of these little items can I knock out, spruce up the home, make it safe, sound, sanitary, more pleasant to live in, etc. The next item of importance on the list would probably be something like energy efficiency, right? Because if the home is perfectly safe and sound and dialed in and all the cost efficient things are taken care of, well, now how can we continue to maximize dollars in our pocket? By saving on things like energy, right? So maybe you have drafty, leaky windows. Maybe you want to add insulation so you don't have to run the heating and air as much. Maybe you want to upgrade your heating and air system. Maybe you want to add solar, do low drought tolerant landscaping or hardscaping, things of this nature. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can do for energy and environmental, and there's a bunch of government programs that will actually, offer you tax benefits or incentives to help you do some of these energy and environmentally conscious things. Now, be careful when you get the government involved in doing your energy upgrades. There are programs out there that claim to be, government sanctioned or aligned with local government to help you, and they really are predatory programs. So just make sure you read the fine print, understanding what you're getting into before you involve yourself in anything that seems to be some kind of government program. So there's some good ones out there, and there's also some people parading around as wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending to be that when they're not. But energy efficiency might be the next one. Last on the list would be like your aesthetics, right? Your cosmetic stuff. So maybe your kitchen cabinets work just fine, but you want to give them a coat of paint. Maybe the color in the bedroom, the paint works, but you want to change the color. Maybe there's some landscaping that needs to be done. So that's how I would go about prioritizing your list of things that you've come up with on your walkthrough. It would be safety, urgency, cost-effective, energy efficient, and aesthetics. So by prioritizing tasks in this way, you can make sure that your home maintenance schedule is tackling the most important things first, right? Safety and urgency, but also taking into consideration some cost-effective stuff, some energy efficiency, and some aesthetics to make the place comfortable and low cost for you to live in. The next thing you're going to want to do now that you have them prioritized is create a schedule. So again, if you have a safety issue, that's probably going to be the first thing. That's going to be, a today thing to take care of. Whereas painting a bedroom may be down the road, or, putting a fresh coat of paint on the baseboards might be every year or every other year. So take the list of items and create a schedule. And this can be however you want it. There's plenty of resources online to tell you how often you need to, change filters and paint rooms and things of that nature. So put it on a schedule. That way you don't have to think about it and tackle things as they pop up, like putting out fires. Creating a schedule will keep your home well maintained and it'll keep it comfortable while you live there. Another thing about creating the schedule is you can divvy it up to other people in your home. If you have older children or a spouse or other roommates or other people living with you, you can say, hey, let's all work together as a team to tackle these household chores. And what I find for you parents out there is one of the best ways to spend time with your kids is giving them age-appropriate chores to help out around the house. It teaches them independence, it teaches them the value of hard work, and it also gives you an opportunity to spend time with them. I can't tell you how much fun I have with my daughters when we're making a game out of folding clothes or when they're helping dad paint the fence. It's really fun stuff to do. So by creating a schedule and doing it this way and doling out tasks to other people in the home, you're creating an opportunity for shared work and shared experiences, and it really deepens relationships, which is another weird benefit to home ownership, is that we have to work on this place. We live here together. No one else is working on it for us, and we want to have some pride here. So let's spend some time together tending to the garden, painting to the fence, folding laundry, things of that nature, and you'd be surprised at how much fun and how much relational return on that investment you find. Another cool thing that scheduling allows you to do is move into the next step in this process, which is keeping records. If you have a regular maintenance schedule and you can just make notes on the kind of maintenance you do, the paint you used, when this thing got switched out, when we addressed that thing, that goes a long way in helping you stay organized and keeping your maintenance on schedule, which keeps your home in great shape, which makes it more comfortable to live in. And probably the most important part to y'all watching this is it increases the value of your home. I can't tell you how many times I've had a buyer walk in to a property that they were purchasing and a seller hands them, hey, this was my home maintenance schedule. Here's what I've been doing here for the last 10 years. And the buyer is blown away. It gives them such a sense of calm that, oh my God, this person really took the time and the energy and the consideration to maintain this on a regular basis. That means when I walk in here, I don't have to be scared of things going wrong, which means I can be more confident in writing an offer, which means guess what? I can pay more money for it. So maintaining the home, not only from a physical perspective, will give it more value, but from a mental, emotional perspective, when you show the buyer, hey, here's how much I've cared for this place, the buyer's perception of value of a home that's been maintained is a lot higher when the maintenance records are in front of them, tangible and on paper, rather than just like, oh, hey, this paint looks nice. So definitely keep your records. It's valuable for a lot of different reasons. And the last piece of the puzzle is just to stay on top of the home maintenance. These things are deteriorating every single day. Just even gentle wear and tear of a property, weather, all of these things, we've all lived in a place and have seen them deteriorate over the years. So by staying on top of it, again, it creates a sense of pride in the home. And when you're proud of where you live and you've cultivated this culture inside of your home with your other household members that we're proud of where we live and we want to maintain that pride, then when you see a little streak on the window, when you see a little scuff on the baseboard, you're not going to allow it to fester, because it's like, hey, we have a culture of pride, of ownership of this house inside this house, and things get addressed quickly, which makes them easier to address. It makes them more cost effective to address. And again, it also just makes it nicer for the home to be in and easier to sell, and makes for happier buyers should you decide to sell the property in the future. So there you have it. That's basically how you would come up with a home maintenance schedule. It's definitely a process. It's an ongoing process. Just like we must work on ourselves, we must work on our cars, we must work on our careers, we must work on our home as well. And if we do so, the returns of that constant maintenance of our home and those other items in our life will make for a well-rounded, more pleasurable experience with our home. So I hope that information was helpful to you. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, share it with a friend, and we'll see you soon.